Hi, James Bell, Scrum Master here at SetSchedule. A Scrum Master is just the person that facilitates the Scrum ceremonies and the Scrum process. The way I defined it is I'm an informational traffic cop. I make sure that lines of communication between the people that need it are open. The Scrum process is the way that I've internalized it, it's a part of agile software development. When software development was first starting off, everything was DoD. I mean, the first computers were larger than this room is now. And nice thing about being DoD or Department of Defense is you basically have unlimited money. You're in government. So, we want software. This is what we want it to do, and this is when we want it by. And so they would have the entire development process, and then they'd have the entire QA process, and then they'd have the entire implementation process. And by the time it went from the original plan to how it's going to be implemented, none of it matched. So, but again, being the DoD, they could say, hey, no, go back, fix it, and they can spend millions of more dollars to completely waste their time and money, but it wasn't their time and money. So eventually they'd get a product they can use. For some strange reason, most software development companies, especially smaller ones like ours, we don't have unlimited times or budgets. So what Scrum does is it's an iterative process where, okay, this is what we want to build, and we take a section of it and we start building it, and we get that built and QA'd and iterated and checked. It's like, is this the direction you're wanting to go? It's like, no, I want it more this direction, or now our client needs have changed. We need to be able to do this. And so we're constantly developing and being able to produce the vision as the vision is being in real time tested against what the client expectation, whether that's an internal or external client, and driven towards something that's not going to be, hey, we just spent 2 years developing something and it doesn't match any of our designs and it doesn't match any of our expectations, and we're 8 months behind where the market is, but we have it. It's like, it's not going to work. So yeah, Scrum is that iterative design where every 2 weeks you've got something new and you can test it and you can play with it and you can make sure that it's matching up with what the client needs or what the product owner needs or what the vision of what the product is still matches. And if something changes, like, okay, 1 month ago this was the single most important thing that we needed. It's moved. This idea, it's not shaping up the way we want, and instead of having that investment of time chasing something that might not end up being what we needed, we can immediately cut loss and continue developing the items that are working and have that vision mold in to what it's supposed to be. And that way you're able to more quickly and more effectively deliver a product that not only do your stakeholders want, but eventually that your clients are going to want, because it's matching what their expectations, it's matching their ask. So one of the first things that I did was, okay, let's consolidate. This is our project. This is the product we're releasing. Let's bring everything in under one umbrella. That way we can see and track where everything is in real time and be able to know, okay, this particular platform is falling behind compared to the others. How can we, let's figure out what we need to do in order to get them caught up. Do we need more? Is it a matter of resources? Do we need more people? Is the communication breaking down in what the ask is and what they're being asked to develop versus other platforms? Is there a problem with the implementation on, is it not being clearly defined, and we have, say, we're being asked to build an aspect of the project, and 2 out of the 3 of the teams, they're just kind of, if something's not well defined, but they're just going their own way with it, and the 3rd team is saying, well, hey, no, we need clarification on this. Is it the other 2 teams that are the ones that are like, okay, we're going in a direction that hadn't really been dictated, or is it the other team, or is it the first team that's saying that I don't know what's going on. I need help. And it's being able to identify those and being able to identify what is impeding progress, or what a lot of it comes down to blockers, for example. And just to quickly define that, if for example, you and I were building a house and you've got everything necessary to build the second floor, but we haven't even built the first floor yet, it doesn't really matter because I don't have anything I can put the second floor on. And a lot of times in software, you're going to have something similar where it's like, hey, I need to build the responses for this particular form or this questionnaire. It's like, okay, that's great, but we don't even have the questionnaire yet. So building the responses doesn't get us anything because we don't even know what the responses are. And being able to identify where these occurrences are and plan for them, say, okay, yeah, we need to make sure this part is built before this part. And that is also one of the things that we get from Scrum, where we get to do, as part of that iterative design, one of the key components of that is planning. This is the work we have to do. How do we logically break it down into the bite-sized development pieces so that the logic makes sense? Because if I'm building a section to send a direct message to you, but I don't have a way of finding you in the app, in our application at all, how can I send a direct message to you? So making sure that we can identify those structures and what needs to be built before we start building another section is a key component, something that the Scrum process helps us identify. And again, with the 2-week build cycle, if something is missed, well, it's a lot less. The pileup is a lot easier to clean up, as opposed to say, hey, we're going to build this in 3 months, and we identified 2 months in that we're missing a vital component to it, and say, well, what did we just do the last 2 months? It's like, oh, yeah, okay, we probably should have identified that first. I start off my day, every day, meeting with every single one of my teams, every single one of the development teams, pretty much in sequence, and it's, is there anything in your way? What's stopping you from being the most productive you can be today? Get the list of that information. All right, let's get these solved. What's on the agenda for today? What are you planning on accomplishing? And then the next day, being able to follow up. Were you able to hit your targets for yesterday? Do you have any new blockers for today? What's on the agenda for today? And just constantly being able to be made aware of if there's anything stopping my development team from being able to do the job that I know that they can do.